This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
Farmers are an indispensable national asset, part of the backbone of America.
If there was going to be a baby she was going to catch, I was going to cut the cord.
This year we have reignited the spirit of Christmas.
It's an absolute honor to be the next head football coach here at Penn State University.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. Today is the coldest day of the week, but don't get too excited yet. We'll be right back at the same temperature a week from today. Meteorologist Rob Marciano.
Wind chills tonight down in the teens and below zero in many spots across the northeastern third of the country.
A lot of white stuff on the ground, too. For many, it feels like more than usual.
Never seen this much snow this early, so it's not a good sign.
He's not wrong. The National Weather Service says as of today, most parts of upstate New York have experienced above average snowfall because of a developing La Nina pattern that will also keep us colder this winter. Kevin's got your full forecast in a few minutes. The $12 billion bailout. President Trump today announced an aid package for American farmers to help with tariffs and trade wars.
Farmers are an indispensable national asset, part of the backbone of America. I've always felt it so strongly. They're so important.
Much of the cash, about $11 billion of it, will go to the U.S. Agriculture's new Farmer Bridge Assistance Program, which will provide a one-time payment to row crop farmers.
This relief will provide much-needed certainty to farmers as they get this year's harvest to market and look ahead to next year's crops. And it'll help them continue their efforts to lower food prices for American families.
The president heads to the Pennsylvania Poconos tomorrow night to begin a tour on affordability. Fox's Mark Meredith has a preview of his visit to Mount Airy Casino.
The White House is ready to take its economic message on the road. Tomorrow, the president heading to Northeast Pennsylvania. The White House appearing very eager to show Americans, including you, me, and everyone, that it is focused on lowering prices and that the administration is putting that front and center. They know this is going to be a battle that'll be extending just beyond tomorrow's speech, and they're ready to show comparisons, especially when it comes to gas prices, which peaked back in 2022.
CBS's Ed O'Keefe says if Trump doesn't fix the affordability issue for Americans, Republicans are going to have a rough midterm election in 2026.
The White House understands the politics of this could end up unfavorably for them in the coming months as the midterm election season gets underway, and Republicans will be graded on his economic stewardship. And we'll see whether or not he keeps up this idea that this discussion about affordability is actually a hoax.
Financial guru Dave Ramsey was on Fox News today. He says he agrees with Trump on this one. America doesn't have an affordability problem. It has a spending problem.
Interest rates are down and gas prices are down below $3 in most places. The people we're talking to are really not having huge, serious affordability problems. There's a lot of talking heads, a lot of squawking about that, but most of that's political.
He says college loans are at an all-time high and credit card debt is too. Tsunami warnings have been lifted after a 7.6 magnitude earthquake rocked China's northern coast today. Fox's Lisa Brady.
A major earthquake triggering a tsunami warning for potential surges of up to 10 feet in some areas. Several injuries reported so far. That 7.6 magnitude quake also leading to safety checks in nuclear power plants in the region.
Hiring and firing. The U.S. Supreme Court seems poised to expand President Trump's power to hire and fire members of independent agencies, despite what Justice Sonia Sotomayor said today.
You're asking us to destroy the structure of government.
CBS legal analyst Jessica Levinson says it's a case sparked by the Trump firing of a Federal Trade Commission member.
The Trump administration is arguing that when it comes to the executive branch, that the chief executive, the president, has the ultimate power to say, I don't want you here anymore, and therefore I am firing you.
And Christmas is back in Bethlehem. Officials lit the giant Christmas tree in front of the Church of the Nativity in Manger Square on Saturday.
This year we have reignited the spirit of Christmas to send that message that we want peace. We want life.
Bethlehem Mayor Mahir Kanawati.
This was the idea, to reignite hope, because when you lose hope, you've lost it all.
The birthplace of Christ celebrated a tree lighting ceremony over the weekend. It was the first since the Gaza war started in 2023. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, religious exemptions to vaccines in front of the Supreme Court today. Penn State picks a football coach, and the circle of life in Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania. Those stories after weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast for tonight. We'll see starlight. Little clouds will build in for some. There'll be some flurries up near Lake Ontario in the Oswego County area, but otherwise it's a quiet night. Low temps, single digits to around 10. Tomorrow, some early sun and clouding up. A bit of snow later in the day, western New York and northwest Pennsylvania. High temps mid-20s to the mid-30s. Cloudy Wednesday with occasional snow, some mixed rain, and high temperatures in the 30s to low 40s.
Yeah, you lost me at around 10. Thanks, Kevin. Checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. Penn State picked a new head football coach today. Matt Campbell was signed with an 8-year contract, according to ESPN. He cried as he stood on the stage before the press.
I'm going to take a second. It's been a whirlwind. I'm humbled, honored, grateful to be standing before all of you, this world-class university, this world-class athletic department, and truly one of the greatest football programs in the world. And it's an absolute honor to be the next head football coach here at Penn State University.
Penn State's Board of Trustees approved the deal.
Our fans, the absolute best in the country. You deserve a team that plays with fire, passion, and purpose. And Matt Campbell delivers that.
Over 10 seasons, Campbell became the all-time winningest coach in Iowa State history and won multiple Big 12 Coach of the Year honors. During his tenure, Iowa State won 5 bowl games. There could be a change to religious exemptions for vaccines in New York State. The U.S. Supreme Court just revived an Amish case this morning. Family Life's Mark Webster has more.
In 2019, former Governor Andrew Cuomo signed a bill removing religious exemptions for vaccines in school children. That spurred multiple unsuccessful legal challenges, but this morning a case called Joseph Miller versus McDonald was revived by the High Court. The U.S. Supreme Court justices issued an order that immediately overturns a second court's dismissal of a group of Amish parents and their request for a religious exemption. The second court now has to issue a new decision. Gibson law firm attorney Sujata Sidhu in Ithaca says, quote, "It's game over. We're getting the religious exemption back," going on to thank those who've worked tirelessly on the case. Mark Webster, Family Life News.
Another case we're following, also across the desk of the U.S. Supreme Court justices this morning, the rights of 3 New York State workers that refused the COVID-19 vaccine on religious grounds. The Liberty Counsel announced today they're grateful the justices invited the Solicitor General to file a brief in the case called Does 1-2 versus Governor Kathy Hochul. It opens the door for the case to be reviewed. Liberty Counsel's Matt Staver says he hopes the fired healthcare workers can receive long overdue justice. New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney is accusing the state attorney general of endangering public safety by ordering the release of nearly 7,000 illegal immigrants with criminal records.
People with these criminal records like murder, rape, child sex crimes are led into our state. And Letitia James, our attorney general, was alerted. She doesn't care. She even goes after and is trying to prosecute any of the local governments who want to cooperate with ICE if we have dangerous criminal aliens within the confines of a county or a city.
Tenney says Tish James is prosecuting her hometown sheriff for cooperating with ICE in ongoing federal immigration enforcement efforts. And a remarkable circle of life story emerging in Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania. On November 21st, hours after Kunkel Fire Company EMS crew attended to a man who ultimately passed, they were called back to the same address, this time to help deliver the baby of the man's daughter. A fast labor led to Luke Edward Sullivan being born in the back of the ambulance, an event these first responders tell WNEP they were well trained for.
My partner and I, Jenny, we made a plan in the ambulance of what we were going to do. If there was going to be a baby she was going to catch, I was going to cut the cord.
I got really excited because it was a call I was waiting for as long as I remember.
It's hard to imagine the physical and emotional roller coaster baby Luke's mother, Francie Sullivan, endured that day. She says she's still processing it all.
I have my moments, obviously, still mourning, but he makes it better. I see little bits of my father come out, so It makes it easier.
Baby boy Luke Edwards shares a middle name with the grandfather he just missed meeting. Next at 5, online learning for kids. Worth it or not worth it? Dr. Ralph Kerr with the Teaching and Learning Institute breaks it down with our own Bob Price in Issues in Education. Let's listen in.
What are cyber charter schools and why have they become so popular?
Well, they're really a throwback to what happened during COVID when students got their learning online. And that became such a popular format that Pennsylvania decided to go all out on it. A student has to be really motivated to learn online. Even adults that take courses online, that's the biggest criticism that they have. And then finally, my biggest point is that there's just a lack of personal interaction. I think that's really important in school, not just interaction with the teacher, but interaction with other students as well.
Yeah, and if COVID taught us anything, it was that Zoom school isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Absolutely.
We never have to use that word again. And then finally, Ralph, we deal a lot with faith on this program as well. I just couldn't believe it. A University of Oklahoma student was given a 0 out of 25 on an essay that she had invoked the Bible in, and it was a TA that doled out that grade. The student says she was targeted because of her Christian beliefs. This is at the University of Oklahoma. But what course of action with that in mind would you recommend for a college, high school, or whatever kind of student who might find themselves being discriminated against because of their Christian faith in the school setting?
Well, this was a really unfortunate thing. The assignment was to do an opinion piece about genders in our society, and the student said there are only two, quoted some scripture about that. I read the teaching assistant was a member of the LGBTQ community, which obviously would really offend her.
Yeah.
But in a situation where a student might be involved, let me say first, I read just recently that the university has come down and said that the 0 will not be included in the student's grades.
Okay.
So that won't impact their average at all. But certainly if a student that might be in our area has this kind of experience, first of all, they should ask the teacher for reconsideration of the grade. And then if that doesn't work out, then certainly an appeal to the principal would be appropriate. And I always encourage students to take those steps by themselves because that helps them become more confident in interactions. But if that doesn't work, then certainly it's time to get your parents involved. Go and speak to the principal, if necessary, to the superintendent and to the Board of Education.
That's Dr. Ralph Kerr with the Teaching and Learning Institute. You can subscribe, listen to, and share Issues in Education and all of Family Life's original podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
Want to put thousands of extra dollars in your pocket? I'm Rob West with today's Faith and Finance Minute. One of the smartest financial moves you can make is accelerating your mortgage payments. Even one extra payment a year can make a huge difference. For example, on a 30-year, $300,000 mortgage at 6%, making one additional payment each year could shave nearly 5 years off your loan and save over $60,000 in interest. You can do this by dividing one extra payment into 12 parts and adding it to each monthly payment, or by switching to bi-weekly payments. 26 half payments a year equals 13 full payments. Paying off your home early isn't just a financial win, it brings lasting stability and greater opportunity for future generosity. We can help you learn to manage your money according to biblical principles when you download the free FaithFi app. You'll find it on our website at faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, a farming community rallies around one of its own. That story after a last look at weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Another cool night is coming up tonight. Temperatures will moderate some tomorrow and Wednesday, but the next clipper arrives. In so doing that, we'll catch some snow, maybe a touch of rain. More cold air follows later this week. Could be another system of more significance toward the weekend. Our call for tonight, we'll see starlight. Little clouds will build in for some. There'll be some flurries up near Lake Ontario in the Oswego County area, but otherwise it's a quiet night. Low temps, single digits to around 10. Tomorrow, some early sun and clouding up. A bit of snow later in the day, western New York and northwest Pennsylvania. High temps mid-20s to the mid-30s. Cloudy Wednesday with occasional snow, some mixed rain, and high temperatures in the 30s to low 40s.
Thank you, Kevin. Finally at 5, when a prominent member of a North Dakota farming community died in a car crash, dozens of laborers banded together to help with a critical family harvest. With more than 1,000 acres of corn and other crops ready for picking, these fellow farmers tell KFYR they weren't about to let the grieving family of Randy Fullesvold face the daunting task alone.
To know Randy was to love Randy, and the reach that he had was kind of endless. The corn harvest was the big one. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts that need to happen with corn and a lot of bushels to move at once.
I didn't want to put the burden on Larry, the father-in-law that he farmed with, and I told Larry, I said, don't worry about the corn. We'll just get it off.
Kind of shows Randy's reach.
Randy's widow called the effort nothing short of breathtaking, just when they needed it the most. And that's the world that we live in for Monday, the 8th of December. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.